alert, we're unpacking the whole plot, twist by twist. If you're spoiler sensitive, hit pause and come back when your TBR list catches up. Cheers!
Welcome to the podcast where our reading habits are unhinged.
And so are we.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Miranda.
And this
Is marginally unwell. Yes.
We're doing great today.
We're going great today.
Things are happening.
We got it going.
So today, I welcome you to Dark Pages and Deeper Secrets, where the air is thick, the walls are breathing, and we're diving headfirst into the wild fever dream. Real. That is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. Sorry if I butchered that. Glamour meets rot as Noemi stumbles into a crumbling mansion full of mold, madness, and way too many mushrooms. Buckle up. Things are about to get weird, gothic, and gloriously grotesque.
That grotesque one, though?
Yeah. Things happen. Things got changed real quick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I related mostly to the fever dream because that's how I felt.
What? Let's just get into it.
Yeah. Let's just start.
We'll save our thoughts for the end.
Yeah.
If we can.
Not likely. We start off this wonderful journey with Noemi. She is our main character. She receives... Well, she doesn't actually receive it, I guess.
No, her dad, I think...
Her dad, calls her in.
Yeah. She's... they get a letter from Catalina, which is her first cousin. And I think she writes to her uncle, which is Noemi's father in this role. And she's getting ready for a party. As she's getting ready to go, she's already dressed and everything, and she just needs to go to the party.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're not going to the party. You need to see me in the office." And she's like, "Duh. If someone wanted me to go see my date."
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, it's for sure." I can't even remember the dude's name in the beginning. Was it actually?
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. Because I was like, Enrique Iglesias.
She's trying to go to a party with Enrique, okay? And she thinks that her dad is calling her in there to be like, "He's not a good match."
Yeah.
Basically.
And she's like, "I'm not going to marry him. I'm just having fun."
Yeah. Like, okay. I'll be through. So he calls her in there. She's thinking that, and then he ends up saying, "Hey, I got this letter from Catalina. It's kind of weird.
It's disturbing."
Yeah.
So she claims in her letter that she's newlywed to this guy, handsome gentleman. Virgil, that's right. Virgil.
The names in this too are.
I think they were going for they're very like gothic.
Yeah, I feel like it was super dramatic.
Yeah. Gothic century,
Yeah.
I don't know. You'll hear more of that. So she's married. She married to Virgil, and she's claiming that they're not letting her leave the house. That she's sick, and I can't remember everything. And that she wants to leave, and they're not letting her. So he's like, the dad. I can't remember the dad's name. Mentioned very few times. Like this is the only time.
I think it was just in the beginning.
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna send Noemi over there because she needs things to do other than spending time with that boy." And he wants her to go check things out and see if the cousin needs anything. And she's like rambling too. Like her letter didn't make any sense. She was a little bit rambling.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point, the conversation between Noemi and her dad was very. I feel like it alluded to the fact that Catalina maybe had some mental struggles in the
whenever her father died.
Yeah, and so I kind of felt like they were thinking like, oh, maybe she had like another mental break, but they didn't say that. But I feel like
it was
that kind of was like, you need to go check it out to see basically like, is this legit? Are they treating her badly, or is she like,
okay?
Yeah,
yeah, she needs some help. Either way, what kind of help?
I need to know what kind of doctor to call.
Is it a doctor or a lawyer?
What kind of professional do we need?
So she makes a deal with her dad. It's essentially like, okay, I'll go. She's like, I'm not going. And the dad's like, well, I'll let you go to the university and study whatever you want. And she's like, okay, cool, then I'll go and check it out. I want to see my cousin anyway.
Yeah, because her parents were very, like, wanted her to be, like, trad wife,
business, education, something,
I don't think they wanted her to, like, go to school, though. That was the whole thing.
I thought they wanted her to go to school, but she wanted to do something with, like, science studies or something.
I remember I felt like the conversation went like they wanted very basic, like, education and more education geared toward, like, the path of becoming a wife. Like, that was what you were supposed to be doing. She was like, nah, I'm doing my own thing. But she also, like, went with the wind, kind of.
What was this set in? I felt like it was, 30s, 50s? They had cars, but they weren't.
I don't know that it was, like, on older time. I just feel like the house made it feel like that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. It just felt like older. Like the way that, like, his communication, like the dad and daughter conversation, like what you're saying, like very traditional. And then also, how she wanted to borrow the car, and there's like, oh, you have a car. Whenever they get to the house, I don't know. It just seemed very older, a different decade.
I mean, it could have been. I don't know. I feel like there was other things that made me feel like it wasn't, but then, like, the house was stuck in that.
Yeah, the house.
Well, so I'm getting about.
We'll move forward with this.
Yeah. So they make the deal.
Yes, they make the deal.
She's like, yeah, cool. I'll go check on her, and then I can do with that.
Yes. So she starts making her way. The house is called High Place, and when she gets to, this is like a more rural place
in the country
in Mexico,
Mhm.
and it's a tiny town, like a little, and it's very high up on hillside, hilltop. I don't know. And the house,
Yeah, I feel like on the hill.
Because it's overseeing it's above. Everybody knows. Everybody in the town knows that that's High Place.
Yeah.
So she gets there, and she gets she immediately gets like weird vibes by the staff, and they're very like, don't talk unless spoken to, take your bags. It's just very not as warm and welcoming. It's more like transactional.
She's super like witty, I guess. She like tries to banter with them, and it's very flat.
Yes.
And then
she wants to know their names.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we don't.
We don't do that here.
She's like, the servant said at the house, we know all their names. We know their children, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She's very
warm,
like, has a bunch of hospitality, and the other ones are, you want water, I'll get you water.
So there's a lot of like not crazy, but a lot of like super strict rules, and it seems very outdated.
Yeah.
You don't talk to the servants. You don't talk at dinner time.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
you have to wear formal wear.
Yeah. Can I be me? Yeah. The no hot baths.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that has to do with formalness, but
you're asking for too much.
Could not catch me in a cold bath. Get out of here. She also notices that the house is kind of run down.
Mm-hmm.
That
it could use some upkeep.
The furniture is like all outdated. It's like chipping, kind of crumbling, doing all the things.
There's some mold spots.
I think this is where they first. I think she starts to suspect that maybe she hasn't seen her cousin yet to this point. But I think she was thinking because she's like, they won't leave, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she gets there and sees all this happening, and then I kind of feel like was thinking that Virgil might be, or like trying to keep her locked up because she has money.
Yeah,
that was like the first theory going into the house.
Yeah, she also, what I thought was really weird, because usually whenever you go and visit somebody and they're like, hey, I'm going to come and visit, and they're as soon as she gets there, she's like, oh, is the room? I want to visit with Catalina. They're like, oh, she's resting. You can't see her right now.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
I just traveled all this way, and
she asked me to come, and I told you I was coming, and
I don't think
she gave them a very short notice. But she did inform them that she didn't just show up.
I don't know that they knew that she sent the letter, though.
No, they don't know that
Yeah. So she just said she was coming for a visit, not that.
Yeah.
That Catalina.
Correct.
Was like, yo,
yeah. And she was just like, hey, I'm gonna travel over there.
Yeah.
I miss my cousin, whatever. And then, so like, they knew that she was visiting. She's like, y'all, what do you mean? I gave you plenty of time.
And it looks like this.
Yes. So they kind of tell her, oh, okay, you can't go and see her. She's resting, or maybe later. And she's like, well, okay, well, I guess I go to my room, whatever. They said, you can stay in your room or you can go to the garden, but don't be wandering around the house or whatever. They gave her like very specific instructions of what to do, which is crazy.
The list.
Exactly. After some time, I believe it was that same day in the evening, like right before dinner or something, she finally gets to see Catalina and in her room, and she's in bed, and they describe her as very weak and sickly, but she seems like in good spirits. Like she's holding conversations. It's a little bit rambly. Noemi is wanting to speak to the doctor about her condition, all of this. So she's Catalina, I'm here. How are you? Obviously not well. And then when she starts getting tired again, she kind of like makes her exit and then starts asking the husband, Virgil, hey, like, what's going on with her? Like, she's obviously something's wrong. And then he claims that she has, what is it, tuberculosis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And basically, it's the fever that's like making her
delicious. Yeah. Delicious. Delusional. Delicious. Right.
So she got the TB, is what the explanation is. The fever is making her crazy, is what they're claiming. It's all kind of weird. It seems super controlling as far as, like, she's, like, trying to ask questions about her treatment and stuff, and I feel like the doctor's basically like, I'm the doctor, I've said what I said, and like that's the end.
She's like, oh, I want to speak to the doctor, because she starts asking the husband questions. The husband's like, I don't know, like, you have to ask the doctor. And she's like, good point, let me talk to the doctor. And he's like, okay, well, the doctor's not here, he'll be here tomorrow. So
I thought that he was in the first night, but I think you're right, it was later.
Yeah, because he like went to go check on her, and it could be the same night. Anyway,
you know how we're
the next time. The next scene. I'm not good at transitions.
Okay.
We just know what happens. The doctor shows up finally, checks on her, and Noemi's like, okay, I'm ready to talk to the doctor. So the doctor, the husband, and Noemi sit down in like some sitting room, and she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to ask all these questions. And the doctor's like, she has TB. She's delusional because of her fever. Okay, I'm going to leave. And she's like, I've only asked one question.
Yeah.
And he's like, what else do you need to know? And gets
like I'm the doctor, basically.
Yeah, so like, why are you questioning what her treatment is? You didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
So he gets like really defensive and acts like she is just asking all this stuff out of it's unnecessary. Because like he's treating her as if she was a pest. And he's only really not even really addressing her. He mostly talks to the husband. Like he'll talk to the husband and a little bit to her. It's like obviously. And it was just like very the doctor was just giving me so much misogynistic. Oh, I hate this for you. And come to find out, he's also the Doyle's family doctor, and the Doyle is Virgil's family doctor. So after he leaves, Noemi speaks to the husband, Virgil, and is like, hey, I want a second opinion. Like, I don't think that's correct. I knew another family member had tuberculosis, and it was nothing like this. I want to have another opinion. He's like, well, if you can find another doctor that's able to, like, give her, to treat her or whatever. He's like, okay, well, it's this little town, and whatever. So, it's just really strange. It's like pulling teeth to get anywhere with them. So as she has this little side quest going, trying to figure out what's going on with Catalina, and she's been there now for a little bit of time, Noemi, she starts getting somewhere. She's like, what is going on here?
She starts having, like, I think at one point the town is like, back up. I'm not gonna say that. Just kidding. She starts having hallucinations about, what's her name, Ruth?
Yeah.
Or whatever, that used to live there, that, like, she killed her whole family, and so she's basically, like,
I think it was Virgil's mom or grandmother?
something like that.
Some
relative
Yeah.
in the past line. And so she starts, like, hallucinating, basically, like, seeing her. She's having, like, crazy nightmares. Those nightmares are wild, too.
They're really weird.
Yeah.
They're very disturbing. Like, it's almost like Ruth is trying to communicate with her. They're very, like, fever dream where they're blurred together. You can't really make too much sense of it. And
There were a couple times where I legitimately couldn't really tell if she was, like, deliriously, like, hallucinating what was happening, if it was actually happening, or if it was, like, a full-on dream. I was, like, because everything was kind of so weird and creepy, and it was all, like you said, kind of
It was very blurred, because sometimes you didn't even know she was sleeping. She's just describing her experiences.
And then it would be like, oh, it was a dream, like, at the end of it, but you're like, when did this bitch go to sleep?
Yeah, and there was one dream in particular that really, well, there was a couple, but one of them that really stuck out to me was whenever she was walking in the hall, and, like, the wallpaper started shifting and moving, and she's like, there's something in there, and she, like, was inspecting it, and it moved, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
But it was weird because things were happening when she was awake.
Yes.
And then also when she was dreaming. So it was really hard to tell, like,
what was
like, a crazy dream and
Yeah.
what was just crazy happening.
exactly
So that was wild.
that exact sentence. It was
So she's seeing things, hearing things.
Yeah, you start to question her state. And she starts blaming the house. She's like, I need to get out. I need to get some fresh air. All these things. So, and she's also trying to, what's the word called? Advocate. She's trying to advocate for her cousin.
Oh, yeah, because she's still trying to be like, I need more answers than, like, you're giving me. She needs more help than you're getting. And then, all the while, then I feel like she starts not trusting herself because she's, like, starting to experience all these, like, weird things.
So in all of this, she starts to get closer with another family member at High Place. So his name is Francis Doyle. He is Virgil's cousin, and she kind of sees him as, like, this. I can nicely ask him things, because whenever she'd want to go into town, he'd be like, hey, can you get the car for me? So she starts, like, making connections with him, and then they start to kind of form a little friendship.
Yeah. He does seem more
normal.
Sure, yeah. He's definitely more, like, timid than the rest of them. They're also, like, tense.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, this is the way things are, things like that. And
At one point, she was like, I just want to get some water before bed. And they're like, you cannot leave your room after this. And we'll get you the water. Just let us know. And we're like,
I know you're going to go with the water? Exactly. Girl dehydrated.
It's like,
Okay.
bro, that's a big deal. And he's kind of more lax and he's more approachable.
Yeah. I think normal was good.
Yeah, descriptions.
Yeah. But he is definitely more reserved, things like that. And so he starts helping her, and as he is helping her, like, get the car to go to town, things like that, and they start becoming closer, he kind of starts giving, like, little pieces more insight to the family, and maybe what's, like, actually going on, and that, like, maybe it's not crazy, that there may be more to the story kind of thing. He doesn't, I don't think he ever, like, outright says, like, tells her things.
He doesn't also open up this information. She asks direct questions and he vaguely answers them.
Yeah.
So,
but it's still more than she gets from
anybody
else.
they're just like shut down.
Yeah.
So he's like does the best that he can. It's just not enough. Anyway. Yeah, so he starts hinting things. She starts putting things together. She also asks some of the townspeople, kind of like, what's up with this family? Yeah. She starts asking Francis. She starts seeing family portraits and realizes, oh, that strange lady that's up there in a portrait was in my dreams.
Yeah.
Like, is she trying to tell me something? You know, it turns into like this kind of
paranormal like mystery. Like what happened to this family, because obviously there's something going on within this like bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like too, whenever she went to town, that was when she first started getting the information about like the townspeople thinking that place was haunted.
Mm-hmm. And they were all warning her to leave.
They were like, "Girl, get out."
What do you mean you're there? Leave.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, she's like, have you spoken to my cousin Katrina? And she's like, yeah, I thought she left like months ago, weeks ago. And we told her to leave. And she's still there.
And that lady, which is
the medicine lady.
Yeah, so she was like a medicine lady, and Catalina had been getting like
sleep tonic.
Yeah, from her. And so she went to go meet her to get more for Catalina, and she was asking her questions, and she's like, oh yeah, like you shouldn't be in there, whatever. And then she ended up telling her that that's how the letter got sent, because Catalina, I think, had told her like, if you don't see me come back or whatever, like send this letter. And so she sent the letter off to Noemi's dad, because they weren't letting her. So she had suspicions that she was going to get locked down. Yeah, and I also think that at this point, she's kind of like questioning if it's like a supernatural thing or if it's like a money thing, because she's also in these discoveries, she realizes that the Doyle family is broke. They have no money, and she thinks that if they harbor, like you were saying earlier, harbor Catalina, they can get her money. And I don't know, it just becomes like this really weird, is it both? Is it one? Is it the other? Is she being drugged? Like, because then there was also the whole thing that, I mean, I guess this was really more of like a, I don't want to call it a wives' tale, but like a rumor, I guess, going around the town. Because, like I said, they kind of thought that it was like haunted or something. I don't remember exactly, so like, let me know. But it was something to do with like the mines, because like their family had something to do with that, and like all those people that died in the mines. And so they thought that it was like the house was cursed. That's what it was. Yeah. Because of that, because they like did some shady stuff and a bunch of people died. Yeah, they were getting too greedy, and they were working so there's some mines that are at this town, and they had a bunch of workers in there. And what they used to do was they'd mine, and then they'd get the profit, and then they'd share the profit with the mine workers. Like, they would pay them really well. And then they started getting more and more money and more money. And then at some point, the next generation that took over the mining business got too greedy, cut the wages to the miners, and did less security.
I mean, they call it OSHA. Non-existent there. So there was an accident which killed a bunch of miners that happened there. And then they say that
the family in the house is like cursed, and that's why she shouldn't get out. Or that's why she should get out of there, because basically everybody who goes in there, like, they don't come by.
Yeah.
Or like bad stuff, like really bad stuff happens to them.
Yeah. Something, I can't remember exactly how Ruth got involved into this, because she was pulled into it because of that, of the minor thing. I think
that they were saying that she was. I thought that they were saying that she went crazy and like killed her whole family.
Yeah, she killed everybody but the husband. She killed the children.
I thought they were saying like that was part of the curse, that she like went nuts.
Yeah,
because of the house.
The women.
Yeah,
go nuts. Yeah. So yeah, that was part of it. So because they're greedy, or their ancestors were greedy, they can no longer have children, and their wives go nuts. Anyway, she learns that, so she's like, oh, is this why the house is haunted? Is this why the wallpaper is moving? She had some weird, trippy dreams, man.
Yeah. So then we start to get some more answers as to like what's happening. We start getting into like all the wildness of that. And Howard Doyle, which is Virgil's
grandfather,
so it ends up getting revealed that
she decides that she wants to leave. And she's like, I'm going to leave immediately. And they're like, well, that's rude. We're hosting you. You're not going to wait till then.
That's rude.
You're not going to wait till tomorrow. Like, it's the middle of the night. So she's like, okay, fine. I'll sleep one more night. There's this weird-ass dream about Catalina's husband, Virgil. And she's like, I'm not dreaming some sexy dreams. You know, disturbing. And so she's like, I would imagine, wakes up in a cold sweat. And they go down to have breakfast time or whatever. And then they say, okay, we'll come say hello and goodbye to Howard. Because he's like the man of it. And so she like goes to see him. And he's like a rotting corpse. I mean, he's alive. Oh my gosh, the way that they were describing it was just
so gross.
Like literally, they're saying like, this ancient mummy of a human, and the mouth was super gross and disgusting.
It was very descriptive.
Cotton mouth. The lips were receding from the teeth, like skeletal. There's some seeping wounds that are.
He's literally rotting away.
Yes, and she can like smell it. So they're like, I can't even remember the conversation. Are we going to reveal the whole part right here?
Like, about him?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I have next.
Okay.
That's what I was about to get into, and then he said that, so I was like, okay, let her cook. I remember all this, but I wasn't.
This part in the book, like, I literally had to set it down and walk away for the rest of the night. Like, I couldn't do it. It was like, I can't exactly remember how everything was.
I don't know what you're about to say, but if you are about to say what you think you're going to say, I thought that happened earlier in one of the dreams.
No.
It was this part?
This part, whenever.
Or maybe I'm thinking. Okay, you go.
I think you're thinking about the part where the husband in the dream, and it's like.
In the bathtub? No.
Yeah.
That's not the part I'm thinking of.
Are you thinking?
You go, and then I'll let you know. Because I feel like it's not the same.
Okay. So he starts talking to her, and he says, oh, I know you want Catalina to leave. She's not a very good match for Virgil. She's not as strong. We see that you're a stronger candidate, so if you want to take her place and we can let her go. And they essentially offer her to like take Catalina's place, and she's like, I don't want to take her place, and I want Catalina to go. And she's like, very strong-willed woman, which is not what they're used to. They're used to like obedient, compliant, people. And he's like, essentially says, well, you're going to take her place anyway, and we're going to keep Catalina as well. You're also going to be Howard's wife. And she's like, I don't want to be Howard's wife. He's like, on his deathbed. And it's revealed here that Howard, is the original Doyle. And he essentially lives on through his offspring. So the house is cursed, and they have something to do with mushrooms, like the mycelium and the mushrooms, like it have memories or whatever. And through this, and he uses this connection to the house, the curse, the mycelium, to move his consciousness into, I know I said it slow, into his family's bodies. So it's usually like the son or his nephew. He's basically like, which is like, why would you sacrifice yourself for, Yeah. But we come to find out he has like more power and stuff. He like kind of gets them to, he kind of forces them, and he chooses and fixes battles because he's stronger or weaker in some things. And
he's basically obsessed with like a pure bloodline.
Yeah, so they're very like incestuous.
Yeah, because he basically takes over the children's bodies, and then is with another woman, and then they have children, and then the cycle continues.
Yes, and for whatever reason, he wasn't able to take over the previous son. I think this is Virgil's grandfather, that's why he was so bad. Because it skipped a generation.
Yeah, because Ruth
killed her kids.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't able to move into their bodies.
Yeah.
So we come to find out that, yes, Ruth murdered her children.
Because she didn't want him to, like, take them over.
Yeah, and she wanted to stop this cycle.
Yeah.
So that's why...
The women are the only ones that got brains in this operation, and they're like, we gotta stop this. But then that's why everybody thinks the women like go crazy, because like they do, but they're like legitimately saying like no, they crazy, but then everybody thinks that they're like nuts.
They're overreacting. They're emotional.
Yeah, it's so dramatic. What do you mean the house is alive?
The house is alive. What do you mean your husband's trying to take over? Usually he doesn't get this rowdy, but he had to wait. He had to wait for Virgil to be ready, and he was going to take over Virgil, but Virgil chose Catalina because she had money and wealth and whatever, but they didn't realize that she was weak mentally, and so she's not a good match for Howard. So they decided...
Well, I think, too, it was also about his Catalina tried to leave, and then they like sedated her, and like did all the things to make her seem like she's like sick and whatever. So it's because they didn't want her to like go and tell all the secrets of the family. And so honestly, I feel like they saw that as the weakness, as like, oh, she doesn't want to be obedient, so she's weak, she's not a good match, and so they just like basically like took her out without killing her.
Yeah, but this is where yes. And they're choosing Noemi, which is even more strong-willed.
She's already like, what is happening here? Asking 1,550 million questions.
So, but she's a better match. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
The logic is logic. So, yes, Howard decides that Noemi is a better match because she's stronger or whatever. And he decides not to take over Virgil because he doesn't want Catalina. And he wants to be now absorbed into, what's his name? Francis.
Yes, he wants Francis and Noemi
to marry
so he can...
He gets the housemaid, what's her name? Florence. Francis's mom. And Virgil push Naomi to his bedside and is like, kiss. And this scene in the book, she's like, I can't just imagine, like, they're forcing her to, like, live onto him, and he's literally a rotting skeleton. Can you imagine the breath? She describes his gums as black and rotting, and so she's, like, forced to go mouth to mouth to this man. Howard
mouth to mouth
sticks his tongue in her mouth and wraps it around her tongue and her gums, and then she passes out.
I mean, probably.
This is where I was like, that's enough for today.
Reading has escalated, so we're going to take a break.
We'll come back to this another time.
That's crazy.
I can't get over it. It will be stuck with me forever. And hopefully you.
It's traumatizing. So we can use trauma bond for that.
Horrible. It's like, literally.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, he wants to, that happens because he is trying to rebirth through Francis and be with Noemi so then they can have children and then he can take them over eventually one day. So obviously Noemi is like,
I'm good.
I'm a pass.
It's going to be a hard.
And so basically at this point, Francis finally like gets with the program a little bit more here and is like, yeah, you're right. That's a lot. And so her and Francis start like plotting an escape plan. Because she's like, we gotta get out of here. And he's like, I'm gonna help you get out. And she's like, nah, like you have to come too. We're bringing Catalina. Like we all escape.
They're all nuts.
Wild. Yeah. And she's like, you're the only normal one, and like you're getting out too. And so they start planning their escape. And I don't know what else. So they escape.
Yeah. France, because Catalina is essentially confined to her room, and now at this point Noemi is as well. So it really is up to Francis to really initiate this plan.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, he first goes to Noemi, and unlocks the door, and then they go over to Catalina and try and get her out. So she's semi-drugged. So she's trying, but she's kind of like impaired. So Noemi tells Francis to take Catalina out, and that she decides to burn this house down because she's like, the cycle needs to end. I'm going to finish what Ruth started and make sure it's done. So she's like, Francis, get cousin out of here. I'll meet you out there. Get the car. And so she tries to like find the source of the mushrooms, the mycelium. But she goes down to the basement and corpse. And I can't remember who this is. I want to say it's Ruth.
Yeah, I think it was. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I want to say it's Ruth. I think
What's the answer?
100. So she goes down to the basement to try and like get to the source of like this mushroom mycelium, because she can apparently see it. I don't know. She's a scientist. She found a way. And I think they the Doyle family sacrificed or gave Ruth's body as an offering to the mycelium, and it's like feeding off of her, and it's all coming like it's rooting from her. So she's like, Ruth does not want this. I know, because I've been dreaming about it for days now.
Me. Basically, I think that's what she's trying.
She's like, burn this bitch down.
Yeah.
So she starts a fire starting there, and she starts like leaving the house. It just erupts into flames, and it gets burned down with Howard, Virgil. I think that was it. I think that was it. But they're sitting out there in the car watching this place burn down.
Why did I remember Virgil?
Virgil got out. because I thought it was just it could have, because I think
I thought
Virgil
he did, and then he
Virgil
was like,
confronted
yeah,
Francis.
Yeah, and he was like, "No, I want out too. Like, I didn't want this either." I like literally misremember. I don't know. Okay, ignore
I
me.
thought it was just Francis. Francis was the only one that survived, and Francis was kind of like, oh, after
I
all
thought
of this
because
is
they
done.
like went out and they were like in the garden or whatever, and then he like pops out.
No, that's a different.
Oh,
Yeah, that's before she met Howard, and because he was like kind of teasing her, like
I could have swore that Francis was there too. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
I could be misremembering.
honestly, you're probably right. This was literally a fever dream, and I'm struggling far.
It was really weird. My version is they all died. Francis survived. And Francis was having a hard time with it because
The only one of their family.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
one of the Doyles that survived. And Francis was having a hard time with it because he was like, well, I'm part of the bloodline. It could still be with me. No guarantees.
Yeah.
But there is a possibility. And I believe he was having a struggle with himself whether or not to like.
Yeah.
And not Catalina. Noemi was like, let's not be too hasty.
Yeah, let's just
Let's play it out. See what happens.
we killed all them.
Yeah.
So let's see where we go from here.
Yeah, let's not be too hasty. So they get out.
It's a creep.
So yes, it's a little rough. This one was interesting. This one was on my TBR for a while.
This was not on my radar.
I don't know. I really wanted to read it because it was presented as like a Mexican Gothic horror,
Yeah.
which it delivered.
It was. It just wasn't. It did not go. Not the plot, but like the vibe of it was not where I thought that was like what it was going to be.
Yeah. So my
I thought it was going to be supernatural things, but I did not think it was going to be like the creepy old man taking over all the bodies and like whatever. I thought
that was gross.
their theory about like the house being haunted / cursed because of like the mine thing, and then Ruth went crazy and like killed all, but like that type of thing. That going into this, that is what the type of thing I was like expecting, and then shit went real sideways.
Yeah, it took a left turn. It was interesting. I thought it was honestly it was a fever dream because I'm not even gonna. It was really weird between like the mushrooms. The old guy that's 100 years old that's like taking over their bodies.
500 years old.
Yes. However old. The misogyny, I just wanted to throw.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was like overly like. It was almost like, are you joking? Did you?
I get that there's like a point where like you're trying to put that in to like a character arc or something like that. But yes, it was very like
in your face,
over the top. Like it was,
yeah.
Like even with the doctor thing, like it did not have to be
father,
like that in order to make the
point. Husband. Yeah, it was
weird.
Why?
Would you recommend this book to me? I'm gonna say no. I cannot think of anyone that I would recommend. The only person I could think about recommending it to would be you, and that would be if I had read it on my own, and then I would have been like, you have to read this because
exactly.
I think I'm going crazy at this point.
I need you to read this because I need you to validate that this is what really happened.
I'm thinking of having mycelium in my house because I am losing my fucking mind thinking that I actually just read that.
Yeah.
That's the only scenario where I'm recommending it for my own validation.
My couple people is you and one other person for the same.
Yeah. Writing style.
The actual like writing style is not bad. The characters and the plot was weird. It was different.
Yeah, I thought the characters were very weird. I feel like some of them really just didn't make sense to me. I also did not love the dialogue in this book. I don't know. I think it was like the way it was written. I can't really explain it. I have to
It's
like,
very structured.
Yeah, it was very much
It didn't
like
flow like
they
a
said,
conversation.
and then he said, and then she said, and so for me, it was very choppy when it came to the dialogue parts.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really like that.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I agree with you.
Engagement.
I mean, there's always something happening. There's always something to uncover. It was a little creepy. Engagement was there because I was like, ugh. But I was also too engaged to where I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. I don't feel like it was boring. I do feel like a little bit of whiplash of like weird random things that were happening, like the dreams like we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I understand like sometimes in books or other media, you don't know it's a dream and then they wake up and then you're like, oh, it was a dream. But it really wasn't giving that to me. It was very just like it wasn't done, I feel, on purpose, that like to trick you into thinking this happened and then like it just seemed like it was so blurred that it was hard to tell.
100%.
That kind of was like, it made the flow hard for me. But I don't think it was like boring or slow. I don't think like that was the engagement issue. I think it was more like what the fuck is happening?
I'm kind of considering that the plot, because the plot was very disjointed in reading it. Because
like
I
the plot points weren't, but like it was just like very random ass shit just happened, and it really was just not necessary. Like I was saying, like specifically about the dream thing, there was no reason to make us believe that it was like a dream or make us believe it was a hallucination versus a dream in certain parts. And so I was like, I don't understand why it wasn't clear that she was dreaming.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird to me.
I agree. It was strange. It was a strange book to read.
Already.
I gave it a 3.
Not even.
Yeah.
I did too. Honestly, I really struggled with that. I think it is a 2 for me. I cannot get behind it. It was very weird. And it wasn't even like the ick factor. It was just, things can be off the wall for me, but it has to like make sense to some degree. Like I understand that sounds crazy because obviously if it's this heinous thing that's happening or something.
I see what you mean,
but
because it was going like a certain way, and yes, you're supposed to have like a twist or a turn or something, but this twist was very like out of left.
What, and not in a good way, not in a like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
It was like
you could have just stayed with the first plot and that would have been good.
Yeah.
Like, built on that.
Yeah, and then made it like
this cursed house that
cursed house.
Because they were a bad family and like I don't know.
The twist plot,
the mushrooms and all the like weird sexual hallucinations and the kissing thing. It was just so, again, it's not even that it was so creepy because it was, but it's just like I don't understand the purpose of it.
It was also kind of like, now speaking about the mushrooms, it was also like she couldn't figure out if it was the mushrooms or the mold, because she was also talking about how that can also give like hallucinations and like deliriums. So it's like, is it the curse? Is it a scientific? Is it like an actual physical cause?
Because I didn't understand that either. If the mycelium was just about like the memories that it was keeping from like down the bloodline for Howard, or if that fed into like the hallucinations and stuff that kind of like track women into their world. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I can see what you mean by a 2. I can't give it a 2 because I don't know. To me, it was average. It was a weird average read.
And I feel like it was below average. I didn't really there were some parts of like some moments where like things happened and I was like, oh, that's whatever. Okay. And that's the only reason it's not getting a 1. But like honestly, I was just like this was not it. It was not it. I had a hard time getting through this one. I struggled. I was like forcing myself to read it. So honestly, if we weren't doing it for this episode, there's a good chance I wouldn't be upset.
I can see that.
So it did push through, and like I said, there were some moments, which is why. Because normally I feel like if I would have DNF'd and the only reason I didn't was because of like this or book club or something, it would have gotten a 1. But I do feel like because I pushed through and then there were like a few moments that I was like, okay, that's why I was getting it. That's all the stars I can do. But I had a feeling you were going to go 3.
Yeah. I did 3.
I'm saying like you were more invested going into it. Not that I was like opposed to it, but you had been wanting to read it.
It's been on my TBR since last year.
Yeah.
And I haven't read it because it was presented to me as a gothic horror.
Yeah.
And I just haven't been the season to read it yet. And so my vision of this was like a Crimson Peak with Mexican culture. And there was some moments where it was like, is this like the yellow wallpaper? Kind of thing? Is it like, and then, I don't know. It was really strange. If I was reading it by myself, I would have finished it just to like figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Because it was very twisted and delusional and kind of like a thing, and it was engaging. It was just a kind of choppy.
Yeah.
And anyway, overall 3. 2.
So moving on.
Yeah.
On to the next.
Read. Looking forward to that.
Yes, I'm ready to get into that one.
So,
next week we have Theme Week.
Theme Week. Yes. Next week's theme is things that go bump in the night. And our designated book is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this one. I read One Dark Window, which is also by her.
Oh, no doubt you're interested.
Yeah. Nothing into indie but that. But her, I'm really interested to see what she does with this because the magic system and stuff that she did in One Dark Window was so unique and interesting that I'm interested to read something else.
Very nice. This will be my first book from hers. I'm really excited for this one because we're going into fantasy horror season.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this book. So going in with an open mind, let's let this one go.
Let the mushrooms burn and move on.
So now's your chance to grab a copy and meet us here next Sunday. We'll have the cops.